Begin with the end in mind. I aim, therefore I am, is the first of the 10 golden rules because, frankly, it's the biggest. I believe that to live a life of meaning we all need to have goals. We all need finish lines. And we all need to aim for them. A version of this idea can be found in Descartes, who expressed it differently. Cogito ergo sum, or, I think, therefore I am. This golden rule is about defining our purpose in life, both as individuals and in our group efforts, and about living intentionally. What if you were to stand outside your own life and look at it objectively from the finish line? Backward? One way to think about this is to imagine what people might say about you at your funeral, or how your obituary might read. This is not to be gloomy, but just to ask you to think about what might be on the résumé of your whole life. What, in the end, will you have accomplished, not just in your career, but in all the various areas of your omnipreneurial existence? Thinking about this another way, what if you saw yourself as the navigator of your life's ship to a distant port? Instead of envisioning this as a set of random experiences, like sitting in a life raft waiting to see what might happen, could you set priorities in all different areas of your life, with definite goals for this year, and for the coming years, and reach the harbor of your dreams by the time you die? How much sooner could you make your dreams come true if you were really disciplined about setting and sailing this course? The navigational metaphor is admittedly at least as old as Homer's Odyssey. But I'm surprised at the degree to which human beings resist thinking about their lives in a longer term, more purposeful manner. Living your life with a strategy in mind may seem like a strange idea, because we don't think of our lives that way, nor do we want to. We're simply not trained to develop a day-to-day strategy for reaching our goals. Most of us experience life like the weather. We go week to week, month to month, and year to year, encountering events as they come along in all life's weird and unpredictable vicissitudes. We may do a modicum of planning around getting an education, establishing a family, earning an income, and, if we're fortunate and smart, preparing for old age. We check the boxes in these areas as we go along. But that's about the extent of it. Besides, there is something, well, odd about thinking about our lives in a strategic way. We're too used to hearing about strategic goals in terms of corporate speak, not least of which has to do with meeting Wall Street's short-sighted quarterly goals and deadlines. I disagree with this entire Sarah perspective. Of course, walking down the sidewalk and going to the office or to a meeting can produce unexpected adventures. But what if taking the long view of our existence could be much bigger? Like a satellite view from Google Earth? In fact, I want you to escape from constrained, short-term, inside-the-box thinking and instead set your mind to inspiring, long-term finish lines. Ignoring the naysayers. I urge you to see what focusing on a silly dream, even for a year, really can do for you, and how sticking with it can, ironically, set you much freer to follow your wishes than simply living life as it happens. Beginning with the end in mind helps us to focus and accelerate our journey. In fact, research by psychologist and leadership consultant Robert Cooper and others has shown that purposefully glancing farther ahead, rather than just focusing on what is happening at the moment, makes people perform better. Point 3 and finish lines have the added benefit of making it easier for us to measure how we are progressing toward our goals. Defining a compelling finish line also helps us to create what I call purifying pressure. This is the sort of pressure that unleashes us. We become what we aim to become and achieve. I aim, therefore I am, means that we set a great finish line. And then we doggedly go about getting there. If we aim too small or don't aim at all, we measure our lives in teaspoons. When we are old, we may be loved by a few, receive a gold watch for our efforts after years at the grindstone, and count ourselves lucky. But we will have failed to live up to the dreams we had as children. When we proudly told our parents that when we grew up, we wanted to become superheroes, we will have left unfulfilled our potential as adults.